It's a bit far, around 50 kilometers that side of the border, and supervision is going to be hard. Then the monitoring of the project again is also going to be another problem. So
Okay,
they were seeing.
but all of that is for Nafish is the one who's going to do that, correct? It's her project. She's the one who's going to do all that monitoring.
Yeah.
And Tiju, as I understand, we already have a commitment to Tiju, but how do they want to fix this? What do they want to do in the future so that everyone's happy?
Now that I needed us to ask the women. They needed us to ask the women. But after that, they said, anyway, NAFS is also Rotarian. They still don't now have another objection. Since they've already made it, they now have no objection on that.
Yeah. And do they understand that Chris went through the ones who applied, and a lot of those who are complaining, I think, didn't apply. So you have to make it, you have to fill out the paperwork. Is that right, Chris?
Yes. Yes, in Rotary, we don't begin a project without a community assessment. And for Tiju, there was a community assessment. And their community assessment indicated they were at least the second worst off. So I understand what the objections are. However, when we have had the discussion with the Rotarians, they have not discussed with me what their objections are. I understand they're going back to you, President Rukia, but they have to tell the organization funding the project, which happens to be P2P. And when they don't tell us, we are in ignorance of what is happening.
So, like the other day when they were putting to me, I told them things they've already started. We just go on with that project of Tiju. Think the people also needed water, and we also need water. In the latrines, we also need the latrines. We should not object to the activity. The activity must go on. That's what I told them. Some accepted that.
But let's try to avoid this in the future and come up with some clear criteria. Like the first thing is they have to do the village assessment. And it would probably be good if other Rotarians would confirm the assessment. You know, they say this is what the village is like, and maybe some other people can say, yeah, they agree that that's an accurate portrayal of the village. Is that a good idea, Chris?
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yes, well, it appears like Machangana has more boreholes in it than the assessment said Machangana had. So there are variations there that I don't know what to do with. I just expect Rotarians to put in what the facts are. So I don't know that we need confirmations and reconfirmations, just that we need the standard that yes, we make truthful assessments. We collect and send in real data.
Okay. Yeah, I think that the recording is going on. So I feel now I will now give update on the trainings. Is that okay?
Yes, let's do it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, the Rotarians on the line and the Rotarians in the August house. Yeah. The Mususu Wells, we trained, I think Rotarians were trained with the RCC members, whereby the training was held by Brighton and Samuel Data on how to drill the Mususu well. And we had participants from Ngora, Oyam, and also Yumbe. who attended the training, and it was successful. It was successful done, and the borehole has been drilled in front of SEDUC office where we normally have our meetings. The two wells, the trainings took place. The training was for 2 weeks training, where Oyam and Ngora, where participants from Oyam, Ngora, and Yumbe attended, plus engineer Obede, who is also one of the well digger in Yumbe. He attended the training up to the end, but the participants from Oyam and Ngora left the training before they were awarded certificates. The last minute they left the training, and the training went successfully. Members were very happy. They got their certificates of successful completion of the 2 weeks training. They really enjoyed it. They said, some of the members said they newly joined the club with a lot of blessings from the trainings. So there was upgrading of wells, one in Kaya Nursery and Primary School. Then one was in Machangana, where many people picked interest on the new technology of Mususu well. So many people wanted the Mususu well to be drilled in their homes. Some came asking, how much does it cost for them to have the well in their homes? Then some came saying they have open wells. They wanted to know the cost of covering, of upgrading the wells. So they still keep on coming, and once they approach the Rotarians, they prefer them to come to the office for more details about the cost of the well. Then the MP Avako Melisha came with the family to witness the drilling of the Mususu well in the compound. And after coming to the compound, they also picked interest on the drilling of the Mususu well. And as I talk right now, the project of Mususu drilling is taking place at the Honorable Avako's home. So some of the Rotarians are drilling at the Avako's home. Then next is opening of separate account for Machangana and Tijo. I have already discussed with the community members of Machangana, and also Nafisi has also discussed having opened a separate account, and the members accepted to open the account for the projects. And once the account is opened, I will send the details of the bank to Chris and Helen. Then the community members of Tiju and Machangana have started with the latrine constructions, especially digging the pits. As I said, the issue of the Ramanda, we're expecting the members of the Ramanda to come to office, the leaders, to come and tell us the design of constructing the latrines. But up to now, they haven't come. And once they bring us the design, we shall also update. We shall also update the members on the type of design they want. And then lastly, not last, we have elected the members of the new president. The members of the new Rotarians have already been elected. We have Christine Lenny as the president. We have Samira as the secretary. We have Sumbua Zabib as the treasurer. Then we have Kelly as director for youth. Then we have director for project services. We also have director for chair public relations, that is Maka Juma. And the members, like we have the president, the secretary, and the treasurer. They're supposed to attend a training which will take place on Saturday in Kampala. So they will travel, I think they will travel to Kampala on Friday, then attend the meeting on Saturday. training for the new members, the elected new members. So that is the update from me.
Excellent. Are you setting up any RCCs in Machangana and in Tiju? Any groups that are going to be assisting the Rotarians to provide sustainability?
Yeah. We are going to set up, we have not set it up, but we are going to set it. I'm planning to have a meeting with the LC3 and the LC1 so that we can address, we can tell them to speed up the issue of pit latrines. Then once they speed up, then we bring the youth to train them on how to lay bricks. So once that is done, then we shall immediately elect the RCCs of Matangana and Tiju.
Excellent. And have you decided what is the cost when the ladies drill Misuzu wells? And what is the cost? What will they charge to upgrade wells?
They have not disclosed it to me. We have not discussed yet. The other day they are trying to put them together. They were discussing about how much upgrading of wells will be, then how much drilling of wells will be. So the members were not all. They said they wanted all the members to be together, then they can discuss. So
Okay.
that if somebody asks them, they can give a uniform information saying that upgrading takes this, then a new borehole takes this.
Okay, excellent. And is Avaco's family paying for that well?
Yeah,
Okay,
they'll pay something.
they'll pay something for the well.
Yeah, I think they also discussed, Avaco came in the office when Chris was still around. They discussed something with Chris, then Chris will also give us updates on what they discussed. Yeah.
So is this, when they drill wells, is that a Rotary project, or are there just a few Rotarians who have set up a separate business to drill wells? Who do
And the
they-
people who are drilling the wells are the Rotarians. The other day they came up saying that once they drill a well like that, they must give some percentage to Rotary. So I don't know how far we have gone. There's some, only very few Rotarians expected that. Then I told them it needs us to sit together. Then we come up with that if they accept.
Okay, so it sounds like they have a business, but they're going to give a percentage to Rotary. Is that it?
Yeah, that's what some of the Rotarians wanted.
Okay. Yeah, whatever they decide, that's certainly their decision. I was just curious.
It's okay. Can you tell me, Jonathan? I think Chris will give us an update. I also checked Melissa was online. I don't know whether she's still there or has gone.
Melissa is still there. She's
Okay.
So let's see. There are various things that should be of interest. One is there is a tradition among Rotarians, and Gloria, you're more expert than I, but about hospitality. So do you think there is a hospitality plan for Rotarians coming from Yumbe to a officers training in Kampala? Do you have any idea, Gloria?
Okay, when the club officials come for training, they pay for the training, and of course they pay their transport and their accommodation. So they'll have to find their own accommodation unless they know people in Kampala who will host them. The Rotarians from Arua, for example, they are going to travel. I think in one van, they have one vehicle which is going to bring all the club officials from Arua to the training. There are actually two trainings. The president-elect's training is on Saturday, And then the grants management training is on Sunday, which runs half day.
Is
And
there
it-
any extra room in that van for some of the people from Yumbe or not?
I think it's already carrying the club officials from Arua and Arua Eco City.
Okay. But following up on what Chris said, I mean, I've had Rotarians stay in my house for free, people that I didn't even know because they were coming from the Bahamas or someplace else for training. So it might be good to look into this for the future to see if that possibility exists.
If I was around, I would have accommodated them, but I'm traveling, and I would just I'm not, because the training is near where I stay. It's in Silver
Wow.
Springs Hotel, and it's just near where I stay. If I was going to be around, I would have hosted them, but
And is
I
the
will not be
training,
around.
you know, I guess.
But I think Lillian is there. Lillian called me, Lillian as the AG. She told me she'll pick them from the park. Then she'll also host them at their home. So I have not called her again to inquire about that. After the meeting, I'll need to call her whether it will still work, because she said she'll now travel together with them at the meeting venue.
Yeah,
Excellent. Thank you so
will be
much.
good, because Lillian has come to Kampala in her personal car. So if she has committed to that, I'll speak to her after this meeting also. And if she has committed to that, then I know she will do it. Because when Brighton came from Malawi, and she picked him up from the bus stop and hosted Brighton for 3 days, I think.
She was most kind. Yes. Thank you.
She's a very kind person. She's a very good treasure of our club.
Yes. Yes. So to go on with the report, my Oyam visit is not part of our Rotary work, so I won't speak about that. But in Kampala, President Omawasu of the, did I say that right, Gloria? Of the Kampala Club.
It's pronounced Omaswa.
Omaswa.
Yes.
President
Yes.
Omaswa appointed President-elect Sam Okello to represent the Central Club of Kampala, the Kampala Club, in the meeting with the district governor. And Sam also has a resort, and he put me up at his resort, which was very kind of him. And Sam accompanied me to the meeting. Was that my brother Mahad is at the meeting?
No, Mahal is not
No.
in the meeting.
Okay, that was not Mahad. Okay. So Sam,
That's
Sam,
everyone for Matangana.
okay, excellent. So Sam accompanied me to, well, took me to the meeting with the district governor. And the district governor agreed to review send the letter of approval for the Yumbe club's what is it called? URSC?
RSB.
Yes. And Gloria pointed out, Gloria also came to the meeting. The district governor had an emergency, so did not appear at the meeting while Gloria was there, and appeared 3 hours later when Gloria and Sam called. And the district governor agreed about the letter, and Sam offered to contact the Rotarian who is the director of the URSC to find out how to make the approval of the Rotary Club's application more quick. So that was an excellent advance and a great kindness by Sam. Sam said he had a meeting with URSC Tuesday, and I have not seen the report for that meeting. Then the district governor agreed that wrote down in his appointment books to support the global grant, a global grant request for Yumbe, wrote down that he would contact his DRFC, District Rotary Foundation committee or chair, I'm not sure which, to coordinate for the program of scale, and agreed about 2 or 3 other things. And he was very enthusiastic about the Mazusu wells and their cost of $600 rather than $6,000 or $7,000 or $8,000 or $9,000 or $10,000. And he thought that was very interesting, as Sam did. So we have sent to all Rotarian, all the club, to all of the participants, these actual cost calculations for the Mazusu well that show if the cost for the open well is going to be less than this, because an open well doesn't take 8 days, it takes 3 days. And so that will drop the cost for the people way down. But we've given to all the participants on the WhatsApp page the actual costs of the 2 wells. So with an assumption that the labor is 20,000 per day, but the Rotarian said maybe it should be 30,000 per day rather than 20,000 per day. So if I do that, then as you see, the cost goes up something like $130, and it's still less than $700. And a 10% fee for Rotary or whatever, no one has discussed, but these are local costs for all of these materials, including the cost of buying them in Kampala. And I'm sorry, I don't have my book of my request to the district governor, but I spoke to him about the program, the global grant, and he said, yes, he would be, well, my understanding was he would be supportive of a global grant for Yumbe. I spoke to him about the program of scale. He said he would, that the DRFC had to be involved, but he would ask the DRFC to be involved. So I'll need to remind District Governor Mike, who had emergencies and appeared very tired. So exactly how much he will do, we will see, but he wrote all of these things down, a list of 6 items that he would follow up for us, including the registration of the Rotary Club of Yumbe as a nonprofit. And of course, the only reason to the main reason for registering the Club of Yumbe as a nonprofit is if a training center is built, Good Foundations needs an organization to transfer the training center to. Good Foundations cannot transfer it to an individual for obvious reasons. So and I asked the district governor about his priorities, and of course, all of his priorities, as we know, are literacy and basic education. We spoke about there being a dropout problem in Uganda. And some of the dropout problem is due to tuition. Some of it's due to lack of services, including water services. And I told him that in one country, the major cause of girls dropout of primary school was that they did not have a piped water system. And so the girls were taken out of school to herd animals to the water system and back home, and to carry water from the water open hole water supply to the house. And so we talked of all those things, and he said that he had not been aware of the importance of female literacy, the importance of water to girls being able to stay in school. He was aware of the importance of the sanitary napkins. So those are a few of the things, and I'm sorry that I don't have the full list. I will send the full list later. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for that detailed budget. And looking at that, I was wondering, we could add the 10% for the Rotary Club and maybe even increase those salaries more, but offer each community the option, if this is feasible, for them to help with the actual drilling with a Rotarian there showing them how to do it. So instead of paying 6 Rotarians 8 hours, maybe some of the community could help with the drilling and they could save that cost.
Yes, I have every idea that the community would be more than willing to do the labor for the drilling. So
Yeah, we still
probably
need to
at
have,
most only 2 people are required. However, they want to work in as a team, and we will see what happens over time, whether they continue to work as the full team. And they even said that they wanted their team to include the traditional well driller, Ibede, and his helper. And maybe there was not full agreement, but no one said that there wasn't full agreement. So there are all these unknowns.
yeah, I think for selling the program, for good relations, it's good to keep those 6 Rotarians 8 hours in the budget. And then they give them the chance to reduce it. But I don't think we want to start off with saying we only need 2, because then if they don't participate, then we have to raise the price.
Well, I'm not imposing any budget. All I'm doing is sharing what the actual costs were, and what costs with buying, with transportation, with a 10% for a replacement or a sustainable drill, so that they can buy a drill after drilling 10 wells, and every 10 wells they drilled, they get enough money for another drill set. So eventually we could have more than one team. Right now, we only have one drill set, and a drill set is around $1,000. So
And if they want to have a member of the IBATA, that one of the professional driller, then is the estimate of that cost accurate? If he's one of those 6 people, his salary might be more than 30,000.
Ibede did not raise any objections, but I don't know. We will
Yeah.
see what happens.
Question to ask, okay.
It's really Lenny Christine's and the ladies and Ibede's and his helpers' decision. We're not imposing, we're sharing actual costs, including their estimation of what they wanted to be paid per day of labor. And the original 20,000 was estimated by one of the lead members of the group as a reasonable cost to charge, priced to charge. And then the group looked at it and said, oh, we want more. And I said, well, you could put in 1 million Ugandan shillings per day, but it probably would not sell. If you have an estimate that will not sell in the community, you will get no work, but you can ask for it. But you better have a price that the community will pay, or this dies. So they have to make some decisions, and I assume what they said, what the members said was they might drill the well for MP Avako and her husband. The MP Avako's husband, I told him that the price of the well, I either told him was $600 or was $574. And he's the president of Shell Oil of Uganda. So he is not an impoverished man. He said that he wanted a well and that he could pay. And I should not say more about how he has operated. The main thing is every time he tells me something, he then renegotiates it for a lower cost. So what happens there will be a learning experience. And then the members of the group said that they wanted to first, as practice, drill wells for all of them, and they would each pay for it. Now, whether they do that or not is another thing, but that is what they said. So there is loads of learning opportunity here, loads of improvement, but it's really in their hands, not our hands, what their decisions are and how they will proceed.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chris. And I think what you also said, there's this other lady called Beatrice, the engineer. She even brought
Beatrice
the same
is
idea.
there. Oh,
Yeah.
Excellent.
The
Beatrice.
builder.
Beatrice is a famous mason and builder who made the beautiful drain cover plate for the well out in front of the office. The drainage system, the finished masonry. Hello, Beatrice.
Yeah. She even brought idea of saying that they should not charge too much money. They are still for training. They are still learning more things. The more work you do, the more experiences you gain. So she was telling the members when I was there, she said, at least let them charge some minimum amount so that they can get more clients. If they're going to start charging high, then the people will start fearing and saying that the Mususu cost is high. They will shy down. That was the idea she brought, saying that they must charge at least a minimum amount where somebody can pay, affordable for a household. Yeah. So
Yes.
that was her suggestion, and some of the members had accepted it. Some were still debating on that. So I even told her, I said, the idea you brought is okay. You're still looking for market. So when you're marketing yourself, you're supposed to make something affordable so that somebody can say, how much was this? Mine costed this. Oh, can you call them? Can you give me their contacts? Should they come and make it for my place? How much will you charge me? If you charge them the same amount, till that one will also go, will market you. Then you get so many customers and you will also have money. That's what I told them. So
Yes.
I told them at the beginning they should not charge high. Obedi even supported that.
Also, the LC5 told me that the Yumbe district gets 425 million for 20 wells per year. And I suggested that they invite the LC5 to inaugurate some of these wells. So he's aware that he could also get, rather than a $6,000 well, $26,000 wells, that he could get 200 or so $600 wells. Gloria has pointed out that there are all sorts of district financing restrictions and so on and so forth, but there are many possibilities that can be pursued with time with this. The main thing is the women need to continue to use it, to experiment, to see how they want to do it and how they want to work together. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The other thing, I think Rotary International sent me some names of the members who are not having email addresses. So they wanted us to create for them email addresses so that we send to them. We had 18 members who are not having email addresses.
Can they just use your email address or use SADOC's email address?
Yeah, I was just thinking that we just create email address for them, then we send.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so that's
Yes.
what I'm going to do. And the fee for the training, like the first training for the president and the secretary, it's 40,000. Then the grand seminar, which will take place on Sunday, is 25,000. That is what they've sent to me. So as I was talking to Christine and the treasurer, they're asking me if they could go. Where are they going to get transport? Then I told them it's mandatory, they have attended training. So now what we are going to do is we shall now provide for them transport, then we provide for them the fee for the training. If Lilian can pick them and accommodate them at her home, will be, I think, we shall be grateful for that. So that is what we are going to do.
Yeah, to cover all of these ongoing expenses, once again, the groups might want to consider raising their interest rate, which is so much lower. Some of the programs in Uganda charge 3 times as much interest as you charge, and it's still lower than the bank rates. And it would still be affordable and provide you money to pay for things like this.
So you're talking about the TCP Global.
Right, on those loans,
Group.
and that interest that goes to the VSLAs, and the VSLAs could pay for their members. Or anyway, there's an opportunity to raise more money locally. Because TCP Global money can only go for microloans. It can't go for paying for Rotary participation.
So only your interest money can be used for the Rotary participation. Right?
Right. Oh, yeah. Your interest money and your earnings, you can use that however you want. But it is a possibility that you could raise more money by raising your interest.
But I think we're not now remove for them money from the thing, from the fee they've been paying. We shall now remove for them some money around 600 something to facilitate them to and from. And also pay the fee for the trainings. Because that's what they were all asking me of. If they attend the training, where are they going to get transport?
Yeah.
That was the question we were-
Has everyone paid their Rotary dues, and does the Rotary Club have any money?
They're still paying, they're not finished paying fully.
But once they all pay their dues, will the club have money to pay for some of these transport, et cetera?
I think the other money wanted to pay the district dues. Right
And-
now, as people talk of, they are saying there's this, and people at times bring, at times they don't bring, at times they also stay after 1 month, they come and pay. But if we have money, we can cover this, the costs.
I think Gloria has her hand up.
Gloria, you're most welcome.
I've called Lillian and I've discussed with her. So she says that she's willing to host the Rotarians from Yumbe in her home. They have a family home in Kibuli, so she's willing to host them and even take them to the training venue in Silver Springs Hotel. So I think if they are not able to raise transport, let the club raise some transport for them, and also for the training fee, if that could be raised. Because if the club officials do not attend this training, they'll not be qualified. Your club will not be qualified, and even you, Rukia, you will not relinquish your chair as president. So, unless the president-elect is trained, you cannot hand over come 1st of July. So that training is very important, and let the club officials come. Lillian has offered to host them.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. I'll still call her and thank her.
Yeah, so you can arrange, they can come on Friday, because the training starts on Saturday at 8 o'clock. So that means they should arrive by Friday evening, and early Saturday morning, they go to Silver Springs. They go back home to Lillian's home, and then Sunday morning, they also go for the training. And maybe, I don't know, I think they may be able to go back with Lillian up to Arua. I'm not sure, but you can now discuss the return journey with Lillian.
Okay, please.
Yes.
Now, Gloria, the other thing I wanted to ask is, now we shall not have enough money to send the 5 Rotarians, like the project service, and then the tiara. So we are going to send the president, the secretary, and the treasurer. Can the 3 also attend the grand seminar?
The grants management seminar can be attended by the 3, but the director service projects must attend. If director service projects does not attend and you have a global grant, they will refuse you to attend it. They'll refuse it. Because the grants management training is really important. They put a lot of emphasis, and you can see that the director service projects must attend.
Okay. It's okay, I'll tell them. I want to link up with them tomorrow. Because today, most of them never turned up for the meeting. I said update to them.
Is it possible, since the president is going anyway, that the president, for purposes of this training, could be the one to go to the training? So that in case the grants manager person can't attend? In Miami, we have the option of just anyone from our club attending the grants training.
Well, to me, I would really propose that the officials who come from Yumbe should attend both training, because it's important for you to understand the training. And since you're a new club, it's important for you, and they'll even teach you how to navigate the websites and what to do. So I think it's important that whoever comes from Yumbe for this training should attend the 2 trainings. But they'll definitely check, because when you come, you do registration. So they may notice that a director service project did not attend. And when it comes to asking for a global grant, you will be denied.
Okay.
Lillian has posted the attendees who should attend. She has posted it there on the Rotary Club of Yumbe. And you can see the grants management seminar. It is the president-elect, the service projects, and the Rotary Foundation chairs, and any other Rotarian.
So 3 people need to attend.
At least 3.
Mhm.
Because there's also any interested Rotarian from the club, but at least 3. And I know the District Rotary Foundation Committee will follow it strictly, because they look at the attendance of this training, and if a club has not sent any of those club officials for that training, they'll disqualify the club from getting qualified to implement any global grant.
That's pretty much how it is here too.
So help me understand. When is the training? How much does it cost? What are the problems with getting there? It sounds like the hospitality that Chris is talking about, Gloria has just taken care of. What is the situation right now?
The entry fees, the registration fees, I guess, and the transportation are the big issues.
So what are those costs and where is it coming from?
I think, Gloria, did you say 20,000?
Normally the individual Rotarians pay for those costs. But if the club has adequate funds, then the club can pay for the Rotarians, because those are club officials for the Rotary Club. But if the club does not have the money, the individual Rotarians pay for those costs.
And what are those costs again?
Round trip transportation is 100,000. What are the costs of attendance and other costs, Gloria? It's a
Let's
round
say,
trip.
I
is
think
the
it's 30 and 25,000.
I'm sorry, you said 20 and 25,000?
30,000 for the president-elect and club officials, and the grants management is 25,000. Let me just cross-check with Lillian.
I think Lillian has put 40,000.
Has she posted it there?
Yeah. It's 40,000. Then the grand seminar is 25,000.
Yeah, so that's 65 per person. 65,000 per person.
And I'm not remembering exactly everything, but the exchange rate is 3,667 Ugandan shillings per dollar. And so, so 155, well, 155,000 per participant divided by, I'll do it, 155,000 divided by 3,667. So it's roughly $42.30 per participant in US money. So for us, a trivial fee, and for them, a sting. Well, good. Let's look at what they can do and what we can do.
Somebody else was.
And that's this weekend.
I think Melissa wants to say something.
Well,
Melissa,
yes, I'm having trouble understanding what, where, and how all this works. So when is the training?
training is what takes place in Kampala.
And what weekend? Is it this weekend?
Yes,
The
This
training will take
this
place on
Saturday and Sunday.
Friday. Then the training takes place on Saturday and Sunday. Sunday will be half day.
Gloria, well, everybody, I'm having the beautiful part of my last week with connecting to Rotary of Yumbe has been the connections in different parts of the world, literally, in Evanston, in Chicago, and in Zurich, and in Kampala, with other kinds of projects that are going on in Uganda, some Rotary and some not. The good news is that one of the members of the Rotary Club of Topeka just made a contribution for Uganda, in general Uganda, to be spent. I mean, to me, the training would be an ideal place for that to be spent. I mean, just as Gloria is explaining, the beautiful opportunity to have members from Rotary of Yumbe to go to Kampala for training, if that's what my understanding is, that's outstanding, awesome, exciting. So however we can make that happen, and yet at the same time, clearly, as Chris said, the local people need to have some investment in it. We can talk about the dues. President Rukia and I can talk about the dues situation and being on Rotary. We can communicate President Rukia about that over the next week. Is that okay, to make sure that everybody is in my Rotary? Because that was one of the big hangups that happened with this time. Am I making sense? Do people understand what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so if President Rukia, if we can deal with that piece of it, how can we help with the training? The money, the account at the international level, where the dues and where the magazines are, that can't be used for the local, right? There's no way to transfer that. So how to get funding to the local people, I don't know.
Directly, can you wire directly to their bank account or send through SADOC, or how does that work?
I don't know. I've had enough trouble figuring out Zurich and Evanston.
Yes.
So does the Rotary Club of Yumbe have a bank account?
Yes, it does.
They have.
We have
So Melissa, if you want to transfer to me and I can put it in their account, I've done it before. I can do it again easily enough. If you want to find out how to transfer directly to them, that's also relatively simple, but it'll be a number of steps.
Well,
Uh,
and urgency is to have it happen immediately is what I'm hearing. So Chris,
Okay. And
so we-
how many people are going?
We have the president-elect, that's Lenny Christine. We have the secretary, that's Samira. We have the treasurer, that is Sumba Zabib. Then we have director for project service, that is Chair Project Service. 4, and they wanted 5.
And the Rotary Foundation chair.
Yeah, Rotary Foundation, 5 people.
So what can they comfortably pay? Can you say, Rukia?
I'd ask them how much they are going to contribute. Some are telling me they don't have that money to travel.
Well, I don't need to know if they have enough money to do it all. All I want to know is, can they pay 10,000? Can they pay 20,000? And we will, I can transfer $270 minus 27, or I can transfer the 270, which is enough to pay for everything. I just don't know that we should pay for absolutely everything. I would think that they would want to pay some part of it, say.
Yeah, I think they have to pay for their feedings on the way. That should also be their contribution now.
And what would their contribution be?
They'll not contribute for their upkeeps, feeding on the way.
So they're contributing for buying food and water as they travel to Kampala?
Yeah,
Hmm. Yeah,
okay.
and could they contribute a little bit more towards the transportation and the registrations?
Yeah, I think we need to discuss that with them. Tomorrow I'm having a meeting with them, then I'll also update you people.
Okay, and I need the update as soon as absolutely possible so that I can transfer money into your account. Does that
So
work
let's
for you,
keep the update.
Melissa, that we've say that I did a slight miscalculation, so it's actually $45 per person. So
Hello?
for the 6 people, that would be, I
There are
think,
5.
200. Okay. So
5.
for 5 people,
Yeah.
that's $225. So is 15,000. Can they each contribute 20,000 to the trip? And we pay for the rest.
It's okay.
Okay, so I will subtract the 20,000 from that and transfer the rest to Yumbe Rotary Club today. So I'll
And-
round it off and transfer $200 to the Yumbe Club for the training, if that is all right. And they pay for the additional out of either from their personal or from their income earnings and their TCP global groups.
And can Lillian host 5 people?
I think she can.
Okay,
She has
I-
a big house. Her dad
Okay.
had left them a big house in Kibuli.
And I would imagine that all 5 conceivably could even stay in the same room, and I know that that's unusual for America, but it's not unusual for Uganda.
yeah.
Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah, and we lost President Rukia. So I understand that I need to transfer $200 to help the officials of the Yumbe Club attend. Is that right? Is that where we are?
And I will,
Yeah.
I will transfer $200 to Chris, right?
To P2P,
Correct.
to the,
Nonprofits.
nothing about Chris in it. Yeah, great. Thank you.
Yeah,
So-
thank you. Thank you. On behalf of the club, because Rukia has dropped off, I would like to appreciate your kindness to support this. But I think in future, the club members should know that some of these things actually is purely contribution of the club or by the individuals. But if they cannot, at least let them co-fund some of the training cost. That is also in a way to build in sustainability.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
And if drilling the wells, if they get 10%, they do have ways that they can start accumulating funds over the next year, and that they need to save some for things like this.
And
Exactly.
the same with dues and magazines.
Yes.
and the other thing is, if one of the problems is addresses for the people, in America, what we do is, if we do not have an easily deliverable physical address, we put it, what is it, the general post office, as our address. So, and the ladies could list their addresses as their name, care of the post office of Yumbe, and put in their phone number, or put in the Rotary phone number, so they're called when the magazines appear.
And they need an email address.
Yeah, I think she's going to create just one email address for all of them.
Yeah, the idea of the post office box number actually works, because in Arua, some of the Rotarians do not have personal post office addresses. So they use the one of the Rotary Club of Arua, and we get a huge lot of the Rotarian magazine every month in the Rotary Club of Arua post office box. And the club president or the club secretary goes and collects them and gives it out to the individual Rotarians. So it works that way.
Gloria, could you inform Rukia of that, so that it's not us foreigners telling her the,
Yes, I think when we were filling out that information, because when the club was in the process of getting chartered, we had to fill out information on each of the Rotarians. And I think that is what we put, the postal address of Yumbe Rotary Club. So that is where the Rotarian magazine should be sent to.
good. So, yeah. Uh, yeah. So all of the members are listed on my Rotary, and the Rotary Club of Yumbe is listed on my Rotary. But we did not, I don't think we put in their physical address as the club's mailbox at the post office. And Rotary International is not set up to deal with realities of Rotary and impoverished areas. So it will be nice if we are able to influence them in having a policy that's good for it. And Melissa has been working intensely with and achieving a little bit of progress, but it involves intense work and follow-up to get them to not only imagine Rotary, but even reimagine Rotary. Rotary could be an organization in which our diversity, equity, and inclusion includes people like the Rotarians of Yumbe, who are not like the Rotarians of the Kampala Club, where every member wears a coat and tie, suit and tie, and polished shoes to every meeting. Go ahead.
Gloria, it sounds like the Arua Club has some similar issues to Yumbe.
Well, in Arua, I think the Rotarians, our club was chartered in 2004. So we are much older, and the Rotarians know that some of these trainings are costed by, I mean, the individual Rotarian meets the cost, so they are aware. They don't ask money from the club. So that's the difference.
So the ideal again is, excuse me, is getting started this year in the second year with the idea that the club takes on more and more and more of its own responsibility, just the same concept as TCP Global, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Just
Yes.
keep going. And yet to be able to do the beginning support is something where, you know, my club is looking to how to do this progressively without subsidizing. Does that make sense? So
It does, yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. Because eventually you cannot keep paying the dues for the Rotarians, you cannot be doing everything. They should be able to move on and save money and pay their dues and pay for the costs of trainings, because training is a beautiful thing.
yes,
And this training is for all the Rotarians in District 9213. So they are going to meet with all the incoming club officials of all the Rotary clubs in Uganda. So it's a beautiful thing. And they do lobbying, and that is where different clubs are also agreeing we are going to do maybe a global grant with Yumbe. So they do partner, and so many interesting discussions happen in between the training. So it's a very important activity, and I really wish all the 5 Rotarians should come and attend. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of knowledge and growth, and also putting faces to the club officials. You know, most of the communication is by email and WhatsApp. So, but when you come and meet with people in person, you develop a more contact, more friendship, and so many things can happen after you know each other in person.
yeah, the 4-way test.
Yeah.
How many Rotary districts, Gloria, are there in Uganda?
There are 2.
2.
Yes.
So one is northern and one is southern, but the southern is with Tanzania. Is that
Yes.
right, Gloria?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
So it's principally Tanzania, not Uganda, but so the president of the governor general of the southern district is a Tanzanian Rotary woman.
Yes.
So 9213 is the essentially Kampala and everything north of it. Is that
Yeah,
right?
yes,
Gloria?
that's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Yes. So it would be nice if the Rotary Uganda could share with the club, and of course none of us have the involvement to be able to say this, but could share with the club what are reasonable, what are expected district function costs for the club, so the club can actually budget for them and plan for funding that budget. Because when these expenses just fall from the sky, then it's if they were all rich people, then they would be able to absorb all of these expenses with absolutely no problem. I can absorb my expenses with no problem. Don't tell anyone that, but I can. But compared to the Rotarians of Yumbe, I am incredibly rich person. Compared to Americans, I'm a poor person, but so what? They need to have expected costs and plan for them in advance at the start of the year, rather than having these sudden costs that they're told. Another cost that they've got is District Governor Mike has invited all of Rotary Uganda to send participants to his town for some function. What is that, Gloria? I don't remember what it is.
When is the function?
It's sometime in the next month, I think, that DG Mike.
Conference? Is it a district conference in
It may
Mbarara?
be a district conference. They said the cost of participating was 600,000 per member. That sounds like a big conference. Maybe it's the district conferences in.
District conference, yeah. That's
Yeah.
the district conference.
And it is much less expensive than the district conference in the resort in Kenya, but it's still a sudden cost that it's great to be invited. It's great to be told that the district governor wants to show who you are, but a sudden cost of almost $200 is a big cost.
It's not as critical as the training.
Yeah, the training has to.
Can I say something about the grants training and the president-elect's
Please.
training, the pets and the courts?
Please.
Those trainings are every year. Every year, the incoming club officials, they have to go for those trainings. It's a standard training. So if every Rotary club does their annual work plan and budget, those are factored in, and those are activities which must be planned for and catered for. So
Yes.
maybe it only becomes sudden when the club officials do not know who they are.
Yes.
So the incoming president identifies the club officials she or he would like to work with, and those are the people who attend the training.
Yes.
So it is known every year that president-elects are trained, secretary-elects are trained, there's a Rotary grants training seminar that is known every year. It's there. And the course which are asking, the 40,000 and 25,000, those are for the meals at the Silver Springs Hotel. So when they come for training, they are going to have a mid-morning break. They are going to have lunch and maybe a tea, because it's a full day training. And
Yes,
for participants to stay alert and to be attentive, they need to eat. So that 40,000 for full day is for the meals at the hotel. And on Sunday, when they are coming for half day, that is for the 25,000 shillings. It's for the snack and for a lunch. So that is it.
yes,
And Chris, you've been to Kampala. I think those are that is not compared to. I think Silver Springs Hotel has a memorandum of understanding with the Uganda Rotary. So those are the cheapest costs they can. Otherwise, you can have meals much more than that in other
yes,
hotels.
yes, yes.
So really, to me, I think that is the basic. And ever since I became a Rotarian in 2004, that is what has been happening. So it's not unique for this year. It's every year trainings happen, and Rotarians are happy that the costs at Silver Springs hotels are really modest compared to the costs in other hotels.
Go
And,
ahead.
and what a thrilling opportunity for the Rotarians from Yumbe to have that experience, because I am
Exactly.
guessing they have not had that experience in
Yeah.
Kampala before,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah,
Gloria,
what is-
let me ask you all another question. Who is helping budget for the next year for the Yumbe Rotary Club? I mean, is anybody
It's-
doing that, Gloria? Can you have help with that? Who is doing that?
Well, we could sit with them, but that is also one of the things they are going to be trained in this weekend.
Wonderful.
That's what the president-elects and secretary-elects and the treasurer-elects training. It's going to emphasize on work plan and budget. And the district governor will ask them to share their work plan ahead before the Rotary year begins.
Excellent.
Okay, and just to
That's one of
clarify,
the skills.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've been to the trainings and the trainings are excellent and it's a great opportunity. So I can see why those are mandatory and I'm happy that they're going. Is the district conference also mandatory or is that something they can opt out of? What are the
It's
other
not-
mandatory things they have to plan
No,
for?
it's not mandatory. That one people can choose to attend because it's expensive. And if you cannot afford it, you cannot attend.
Okay, so are there any other mandatory, are there any other financial obligations that they have in the next year?
Other
Besides,
than the Rotary dues.
okay,
And the
Yeah.
magazines.
right,
Yes,
including,
the Rotary dues includes the magazine, and you cannot opt out to say I'm not paying for the magazine or I choose not to read the magazine. That one is a mandatory cost, whether you receive the magazine or you do not. They charge for it, and it's part of the Rotary International dues.
Yes, part of the invoice, and yet they can separate out and have digital copies for half the price. So that has been a helpful.
Yeah.
Correct? So the difference between $6 and $12 is a large amount for the Club of Yumbe, correct?
I think so.
And if they can't use the magazines, then it's wasted. Correct?
You would think.
That they can, if they do not read the magazines, they can give it out to their children to read. They can give it to other people. The magazine has a lot of interesting articles. So I think it's an attitude problem. That is what I'm saying. I think it's an attitude problem in the Yumbe Rotarians that they think everything must be paid for them. But I hope with time they will learn to know that they have to pay for things if they have to enjoy and be part of Rotary.
Yes. But in the
Yes.
beginning,
So Rukia, just Gloria, a minor problem is budgeting when you don't know of the things that you have to pay in advance. So when once they know what are recurring expenses that they need to anticipate, then they can be informed and they can save and they can budget for these things. But when it's the first time and suddenly there's a 600,000 district meeting and that's not mandatory and they need to know it's not mandatory, and when there's 65,000 officer training that is mandatory, it is good to know in advance, as you know, so that they can budget and be prepared when these happen, when the expenses are presented as windfalls, as things that just fall from the sky that they have no anticipation of. If they're well-to-do enough, then they can absorb it with no problem. But if they are market women who are not quite so well-to-do, but who really enrich Rotary with diversity, equity, and inclusion, then it's helpful that there be a budget ahead of time so that they can save for it and pay for it. So we aren't trying to totally remove these expenses, but we do understand that when suddenly they learn of an expense that they had no idea what it would be, it's a little bit more difficult.
Right, Gloria, was this part of starting the Arua Club too? The getting started is difficult, but what an opportunity.
Yeah, well, the difference also is that the Arua Club was composed of mostly civil servants, people who were working and maybe with the NGOs and in government offices. So we didn't have to struggle because right from the start, we knew that we have to pay our Rotary dues. We knew we have to pay for trainings. We need to pay for everything. So we never, I'm a charter member of Arua Club. So we never got any help from anywhere. We started everything by ourselves and we paid for everything.
Let me ask a question. I'm still trying to understand. I've been a Rotarian for 30 years and I understand the struggles of women first starting. So I see the parallel with an impoverished club just trying to get started. Is there a chance, Gloria, and I don't know what I'm saying, mind you, but is there a chance that the Arua Club could sort of partner or somehow guide, what kind of words am I looking for? Evidently, sometimes that one club will help another club get started. Is that something that is happening or that could happen with the Arua Club?
And that is something Gloria has done.
Okay. So
that's what
Gloria was the mentor.
Okay, the
mentor, and the Arua Club was the mentor. But go ahead, Gloria.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Excellent.
so we've been mentoring them and we speak to them, but you know, sometimes you have to speak the same things over and over again. For example, now when the training comes and everyone is saying we don't have the money to go to Kampala. But I know when we were mentoring them, we mentioned trainings will be happening and district conferences will be happening. Rotary International Convention will happen. And it is good to save money and you attend, but you know,
Gloria,
on one hand, they want to be in the leadership. They're saying, Rukia, you want to monopolize the leadership. We also want to be in the leadership. But leadership comes with a sacrifice. It comes with a cost. So you cannot have one and not have the other. So if you want to be in the leadership, you must go and attend the Rotary training. You must attend the convention. Otherwise, how do you learn?
Gloria, just to let you know, I have observed these meetings and you have been such an outstanding and such a fun cheerleader for this club. I have just gone like this for so many times. So, but my trying to understand, I understand mentorship very well. And if they don't do their part, the mentor can't do it for them. So it's
exactly.
How do you move that progress along? So I'm really welcoming this conversation. This has really helped me a lot. So I thank you.
Yeah, I know the perspectives are very different from the US, and it's very different from Uganda and very different in Yumbe. So, but I am fortunate that I've lived in all these societies, so I can know how to adjust and I know how to be flexible.
Oh, and Gloria,
Yes.
I don't know that you know, but the view behind Melissa is actually the pond on your property. Is that not right, Melissa?
Yes.
Wow, that is so beautiful.
So she can look at that from her window.
Wow.
And today I chose a rainbow.
Yeah. Wow, I can see. It's looking so brilliant, so bright.
Yes, and the sun coming in my window was very glaring this morning, so I couldn't show you my window out my window.
Okay,
this is another time.
So that view does not show the horses or the geese or the
Swans.
different animals roaming the land, but
The swans just went by my window.
good. Yes. So part of the conception of Yumbe is that it's Rotary done a slightly different way, but in conformity with Rotary's ideals, especially the ideal of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And Rotary was set up for people like you, Gloria, me, Helene, Melissa, but it was not set up for market people and trades people in Uganda, Zambia, Kenya, the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The Chicago businessmen who set up Rotary did not figure that the world included so many of these other people with the other backgrounds that would enrich how Rotary does things. And we consider, if I may speak for us, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, we consider Yumbe a brilliant experiment in how to do Rotary according to Rotary's ideals, not how to do Rotary according to how Rotary has always been done. Was that too much of a misstatement, Melissa?
Oh, my heavens, Gloria. I mean, that's how you see it too, isn't it, Gloria?
Yes. Yes, I do. Now I can sit a bit.
Beautiful model. If we can just, I really appreciated too your talking to them last week. And the way you said, deal with it now.
Yes.
It was awesome.
Yes.
Totally wonderful.
Yes, I've worked with women. I've been a community worker. My background is agriculture, food and nutrition. And all my life, I've been working with women groups, with the young women group, with adults. and I know the dynamics of dealing with women. If they raise anything and you don't address it there, and then the group will go into disarray. So it's always good if they've raised anything, a few will have the courage and talk, and others will not talk. It's important. It's talked there, and then you solve the problem, you bring everyone to a common understanding, and then the group will move forward.
It's like
If you don't
democracy.
if you don't resolve issues, the group will just fall apart. And it's worth for women who are less educated. So they may think they are being exploited. They'll have all sorts of assumptions. So it's important that you listen to them. And even the ones who do not speak, it's good to read their body language and give them an opportunity to talk and express themselves.
Yes, and I totally agree with you. And once upon a time, I was the manager for an all-women organization other than me, which was the Women, Infants, and Children program for a quarter of the state of New Mexico. And so I had clinics all over a few hundred miles west and north of me. And what I found was I was shocked. I had been a manager in many different countries of hundreds of employees, but I was shocked that one clinic after another, pretty much every week, would call me for me to rush out to them to save them, because either within their group or within the clinic, which was predominantly run by women, they had misunderstandings. And so I had to race out to one clinic after another clinic after another clinic every week. And after doing it for 1 or 2 or 3 months, I said, this is not the solution for me going out and working out a resolution every time they have a disagreement. So I invested the next year or so in, fortunately, the public health department for the entire state initiated a total quality management training and asked for trainers. And I said, please let me be a trainer, because my clinics need to be involved. And so we even got some of the women from my clinics involved in training. And I totally supported them taking away from their clinic time to be trainers. And they learned on meeting facilitation, they learned about vision, they learned about conflict resolution methods, they learned, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, many trainings. And after a while, another district manager asked me how I did so many extra projects. And I told her, I trained my clinics so they run themselves. They do not wait for me to come out and save them. And it's not a dependency situation. It's a self-sufficiency situation. But I'm totally frightened of getting in we're going to resolve this problem or that problem or the other problem for Yumbe or any other club. Thank you. That's enough, my wife tells me. Good. Well, thank you. Should we close off this meeting? Have we got enough resolutions?
I think so. It was a useful meeting. To understand the dynamics in Nebi, I mean in Yumbe.
So I will transfer 90% of the costs of the participation at the of the participation to the Yumbe club today, and Is there anything else that is a resolution of the meeting?
Just, do you think it's appropriate, all three of you, that my club would offer the training, a piece of the training, because the training is mandatory and it's critical, as we all know. Is that appropriate for that to come from the Topeka Club? Do you think so, Gloria?
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay.
It's
That's
okay.
that's part of the partnership and building of a new club. So it is okay.
Okay.
And they need to budget for it and plan for it in the future, but
Yes.
when these expenses are not anticipated, then they're burdensome and they can cause the club to fail. So thank you.
Yeah.
Anything else? Good. Thank you very much. And Helene, I'll talk with you in 9 minutes. Why not?
Okay, all
Okay.
right.
Okay.
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 Have a
Thank
good
you.
day. Thank you for your participation.
And
Okay,
happy
Thank you
thanks.
all.
Bye. Bye,
Bye-bye.
Melissa. Bye, Helen.